So I know a lot of people have trouble when they first start going to the gym and they're really unsure of what to do. So this is going to be a beginner's guide to the gym, taking you through all the steps to get your first workout program going and get you knowing what you're doing in the gym. Okay, so the first thing that you need to understand for the gym is your compound movements versus your isolation movements. So compound movements are going to be your multi-joint exercises that work multiple different muscles, and then your isolation are going to be more that just use one muscle at a time. So an example of a compound movement would be a squat for your legs. Another example of a compound movement for your legs is going to be a deadlift. Of an upper body compound movement, this is actually for the back, would be any type of row. So here's a barbell row. Another example of a compound movement for the upper body is any type of press. So this type of press is an overhead press, and it's going to be for the shoulders. Bench press, and this is going to work your chest muscles as well as your frontal shoulders, or your delts. So now into isolation movements. Isolation movements are going to target one specific muscle instead of like a whole muscle like the shoulder. It's going to target more of like your side deltoid, your back deltoid, or your front deltoid, or your glutes, quads, hamstrings separately. So some examples of that would be, for the hamstrings, a lying or seated hamstring curl. This here is the lying hamstring curl. For the quads, a seated leg extension. For the glutes, a cable glute kickback. For the side or lateral deltoid, lateral raises. For the front deltoid, front raises, which can be done various different ways, but here I am doing it with a cable. For the rear deltoid, a rear delt fly. An isolation movement for the triceps will be an overhead dumbbell triceps extension. For the biceps, a cable curl. For the lats, which are part of the back, a one-arm lat pull down. For the chest, a cable fly. isolation and compound movements go, it's really important to put the compound movements at the beginning of your workout because they're more taxing on your body. So I would include about maybe 1 to 2 compound movements per workout, and then include the rest, maybe 3 to 4 isolation movements toward the end of your workout. Okay, so something else that's very important to know about going to the gym, you need to stick with the same exercises for about 4 weeks and then change it up, because if you keep changing up, your body's not going to know how to adapt to what you're doing. So it's important to note progressive overload, which is when you try to increase the number of sets, reps, weights, any of that throughout the course of the weeks. So every week or two, you try to increase the number of reps or the amount of weight that you're using while you're maintaining the form. If your form starts to suffer, you need to go back down to the original weight. So where should you start as far as sets and rep ranges go? I would recommend starting at about 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps and just get a wide range of the reps. Do some with 10, some with 15, but always push yourself as hard as you can. As far as ab training goes, I would train abs maybe 2 to 3 times a week at the beginning, and you can always go up to 4 times if you would like. I would also add in a variety of weighted and unweighted exercises. In terms of cardio, there's a few different ways to go about this. If it's being used only as a supplement to fat loss, I would recommend to start at around 3 times a week, maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and then increase this as your weight plateaus. If you're just doing cardio for some general health, I would recommend around 2 times a week, maybe 15 to 20 minute sessions.